A British Army officer who once fought alongside the Gurkhas said of them, "Bravest of the brave, most generous of the generous. Never had a country more faithful friends than you." In a world that is constantly changing, Gurkhas are an ethnic group that has managed to retain a strong warrior spirit. For 200 years, Gurkha soldiers have been revered as the epitome of warriors, their courage and loyalty unquestioned. Throughout this time, their honour and renown have resonated around the globe.
Gurkha mera naam, Gurkha mera naam. I lagne satru ko, I lagne satru ko.
Being selected as a Gurkha soldier is the ultimate dream of almost every young man in Nepal, especially in impoverished families. The honour, glory and compensation earned by being a Gurkha soldier elevate the social status and quality of life for them and their families above the general living standards of other Nepalese.
If I become a British Army, then I can get quite good money and have various kind of services and facilities.
After looking the story of our grandparents, forefathers, and there is I get motivated. So this is the only thing that I'm not afraid. That's only.
I'm doing this training since 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah. So it's quite easy to me.
So it's not difficult for you this month?
Yeah, not much difficult.
Gurkhas have been part of the British Army for more than 200 years. During World War II, 112,000 Gurkha soldiers participated, with 43,000 killed and 26 awarded Britain's highest military honour, the Victoria Cross, or VC. In addition to assessing the physical strength and endurance of Nepalese youths, the selection process to become a Gurkha soldier also includes evaluations of their proficiency in English and mathematics. The final stage involves an interview to gauge their attitudes towards life and the world in general. At the training camp, there are classes to help them better understand themselves. This training is supervised by former British Special Forces members.
Why the interview is so important in the whole process?
As I've said, it's easy to test them for physical things. It's easy to test them for their education. They pass a test. But what we want to know is, what have they got inside them? Because, as you know, there'll be 5,000 people applying for 240 places. You've got to trim that down very quickly, and you want to select the best. The only way you can do that is by asking them the difficult questions and seeing where you get the good answers from. So the interview is a crucial, pivotal point about the whole selection process.
These young men have proven themselves physically fit and their endurance, and possess the academic knowledge required to evaluate and handle various situations as new soldiers. They must also undergo basic training in field operations, weapons use, warfare techniques, and combat in various forms, both in Britain and in countries where the army maintains a military presence. Most of the young men aspiring to join the British Army have lived in the mountains their entire lives. Their whole world has been small farming villages surrounded by mountain ranges. So, what environments will they inhabit if they pass the tests?
I have heard that the food is not good enough for Nepalese people. So I have also planned that if I get a chance there to be, and I have planned to make my food myself.
In addition to military training, Gurkha soldiers are consistently deployed to the front lines in war. They undergo rigorous survival training to prepare for desolate and dire situations, emphasizing the importance of being able to adapt to diverse environments. Physical strength alone is not sufficient, though.
70% of survival is in the mind. 25% is in your training, and 5% is luck. But if the soldier has the mental capacity to do everything he wants to do, the determination and the belief in himself to do what he wants to do, then that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a soldier who has that mental capacity, because then we can put him in any situation and he will do the best he possibly can. So mental capacity is what I would say in a short sentence, the guy with the good mind.
In modern warfare, victory on some battlefields is not solely determined by sheer numbers of troops or advancements in weaponry. Ideal soldiers must possess qualities beyond mere prowess in combat.
When you're going into war, and they will be going into battle, these boys, some of these boys will go to war. Some of them will lose friends, some of them will not come back. That's an emotionally mental strength that you need. You need to be able to cope with that and move on from it and realise, hey, I'm a survivor and I've survived this. As you've probably heard, you've heard of the survivor mentality, where people who have survived a crisis and their friend didn't feel really bad because they survived and the other one didn't. Well, as a soldier, you can't afford to have that. You've got to be able to say, put it behind me, move on. And we need strong mentally, emotionally people for that. Go on, tell me about yourself. Your aims, your ambitions, your achievements. What have you done? What's your sports? What's your hobbies? What's your interests? Do you dance? Do you play sport?
For those involved in training generation after generation of Nepalese youths, a common weakness observed is their difficulty in expressing feelings and opinions, a trait often observed in Eastern cultures.
The weaknesses really are in their confidence of dealing with Westerners. They don't have the experience of dealing with a Westerner all the time, and therefore they're very shy people as well, as you probably know. They're quite very shy, and so it's a matter of being able to bring them out, to give them the confidence to say what's inside them. They have it inside them. What they fail or they have trouble doing is bringing that out, and so we need to really work on that.
Gurkhas are warriors by blood. In addition to modern firearms, every Gurkha soldier is highly skilled with other weapons. People who live in the mountains are often given knives at a very young age and become highly proficient in their use. Originally a tribal weapon, the kukri became the personal blade for every Gurkha soldier. The curved and razor-sharp kukri blade is said to thirst for blood once unsheathed. In battle, Gurkha soldiers fiercely charge at the enemy, even when left with only their kukri as a weapon. A painting depicts the Anglo-Nepalese War of 1814-1816, showing Gurkha warriors in native attire wielding only the kukri knife and leaping towards British forces well armed with rifles and cannons. Despite fighting alongside the British Army for over 200 years, Gurkha soldiers did not have rights equal to their British counterparts. In 1817, Gurkha warriors served as mercenaries for the British East India Company before being integrated into the regular army in 1858. At present, more than 4,000 Gurkhas serve in the British Army, enlisting for terms ranging from 15 to 30 years. Upon retirement, Gurkha soldiers are sent back to Nepal to live out their lives in their hometowns. While serving in the British Army, Gurkhas, who retain their Nepalese citizenship throughout their military careers, now receive pay equal to that of their British counterparts. Upon retirement, however, after 15 years of service at the rank of private, a Gurkha soldier's annual pension amounts to only £1,200 sterling. This discrepancy, where their pensions are around 1/6 of those paid to their British counterparts of equivalent rank and years of service, is perceived by many Gurkhas as a remnant of the discriminatory practices of the colonial era. The British government defends this practice by arguing that Gurkha pension arrangements are calculated based on the lower costs of living in Nepal. In 2007, the British government announced that the Gurkhas would receive pension rights equal to those of other service personnel in the UK. The new pension deal was available to all troops who left the army since July 1997, when the Gurkhas became a UK-based brigade following the handover of Hong Kong to China. The British Gurkha Welfare Society, however, stated that about 25,000 men who had retired before July 1997 were denied the opportunity to transfer into UK Armed Forces pension schemes. They do not benefit from the changes, leaving them with a considerably lower income than UK-based soldiers. In 2021, news reports emerged about Gurkha veterans staging a hunger strike in London to protest the disparity in pension payments between themselves and other British troops.
Gurkhas has fought the war all across the world for the British Empire, British Empire. But Gurkhas' blood are scattered all over the world. And still, we are facing humiliation, racial discrimination, exploitation is there, alienation is there, betrayal by the British government is continuing, That is, we don't want. We are also human beings, we also feel and be hurt,
They are Gurkhas who retired before 1997 and receive only a fraction of the pension available to the rest of the British Army. Apart from the pension scheme, England has established a fund with an office in Nepal to take care of the welfare of Gurkha veterans.
On behalf of the Ministry of Defence, we also provide a service to them. We help with the payment of their pensions. We provide information to serving Gurkhas' families on any casualties that have occurred to their loved ones who are serving in the army. And it works the other way around. So if a family of a serving soldier has a serious incident, like somebody has become ill, then we will inform the soldier through our network centres.
This fund provides support to approximately 10,000 Gurkha veterans residing across the nation. Its scope of care also encompasses spouses and offspring who've lost their Gurkha fathers. The requirement for discharged Gurkhas to return to Nepal, instead of being granted residency or the right to remain in Britain, the land for which they loyally served and sacrificed, has, however, been a contentious issue in recent years. Some have even been refused permission to return to Britain for medical treatment. Campaigns by various groups are demanding this just entitlement for Gurkha soldiers, with particularly vocal support coming from their comrades in the British Army who fought alongside them and risked their lives together. One highly renowned British soldier was Prince Harry. He trained alongside Gurkha regiments deployed to the Iraq War and participated in a 10-week operational tour with Gurkha forces during the Iraq and Afghanistan campaigns. His participation in Gurkha training raised awareness in British society about the issue of fairness. The fight for Gurkha rights culminated in 2009, when a British court ruled that retired soldiers could settle in Britain. One retired Gurkha recounts for us the fight for those rights.
There are some Gurkha ex-servicemen organization, and they keep shouting why the same army, same job we did, but the pension is discrimination. So it should be equal. Everything should be same. Even though if I go to England and live in England, my pension is same. Obviously, England is more expensive country, so that is not enough to live in England with pension.
Unlike some of his retired Gurkha comrades, Bhuwan Singh chose to return to Nepal, despite being granted residency in Britain.
I served 23 years. That is also quite long. But I prefer to live and serve the community. I do some social works If I live in England, I do not have that chance to serve the community, because more chances here in Nepal, because the country itself, the community itself is poor and poor. So we can do at least something for the community. That's why I prefer to live in Nepal.
Even after retirement, one thing we notice is the iconic kukri blade, which he still keeps close at hand.
And nowadays, the army issues 2 kukris to each and every soldier. One is for ceremonial purpose only, and that is very shiny one.
Right.
The other one is for
daily use.
Daily use. If a soldier draws his kukri from the scabbard, one has to chop anyone. If not, he has to cut himself to keep the blood. But I didn't do that.
This mild-mannered elderly man appears calm, composed and kind-hearted, which may seem at odds with the stereotypical characteristics associated with a warrior. A Nepali friend tells us that Gurkhas are normally kind people, but when it comes time to fight, they are fearless. One Singh recounts life as a serving soldier in the British Army.
Of course, we have to learn how the lifestyle in England. We have to adjust wherever we go. So automatically they teach us and we learn also.
If you want to see more great content from all over the world, please like the video, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you.
Isolated from the outside world by the vast distances and freezing Himalayas, Nepal is portrayed as a natural fortress, entrapping its people within its mountainous confines. The outside world appears bound to appear strange and different from their homeland.
What made you more surprised when you arrived in England?
The country is flat, and weather is very cold. Everybody hate English winter, the snowfalls. Most Gurkhas prefer snowfalls than the hot.
As we listen to the veteran soldiers' experiences, we think back to the preparations the boys endured for the entrance tests. That was merely the first peak they had to conquer. The path to honour, reputation and an improved life still leaves many more mountains to climb. Though small in stature, Gurkha soldiers are strong, agile and move quickly. As mountain dwellers, their nature enables them to fight in any rugged terrain. This is why they are often deployed as frontline infantry in battle, wielding guns and bombs. Their opportunities for air deployment are, however, virtually non-existent. Until 40 years ago, when this Gurkha became the first to serve as a pilot in the British Army. He was known as Pilot Pim among British soldiers.
Before me, nobody had qualified as an army pilot. I knew some people have tried in the past, Gurkha soldiers, but no one had been successful before. I'm retired now, but I'm the only one so far who has qualified at the moment in time. There is other soldiers who have tried after me, but they have not been successful.
The rare opportunity for a Gurkha to become a pilot was attributed to the path his father had paved earlier. A former Gurkha soldier himself, his father sought overseas deployment, income and benefits, which enabled him to provide his children with a good education.
I wasn't very highly educated, but sometimes you got, aptitude to fly, and if you got a bit of education with you, I think you should be okay, I think. So yes, like you said, I've done something different to what other people have done, Gurkha soldiers. But given the opportunity, I think other Gurkhas can do it as well, I'm sure.
So it's all about opportunity.
It's all about opportunity, yeah.
In Nepal, becoming a Gurkha soldier isn't merely a career choice. It's a path to social mobility and a promise of a better life for the entire family. This is why so many young men cherish this aspiration. The motto of the Gurkha military unit is better to die than to live a coward. Behind their honour and reputation lies courage and loyalty. They fear nothing, not even death. It is said that in Nepal, if someone says they're not afraid of death, there are two possibilities. Either they're lying, or they are a Gurkha soldier. What makes them so brave is, however, a question without a definitive answer. Physical endurance and mental strength are qualities that can be developed through training and experience. Thoughts and attitudes, similarly, can be shaped through learning and exposure. Can courage and honesty be taught and trained, though? Or are they inherent traits deeply woven into the upbringings of these mountain warrior tribes, flowing through the veins of Gurkha soldiers?
The interviewers know the Gurkhas very well. They've worked with the Gurkhas for years. We know the backgrounds they come from, so we know, as I said in the class, we know what they've learned or should have learned from their family background, yes, from the way they've been brought up. So by asking the same question in a different way and seeing his answers, you can then put together the picture to see, is this him just saying that because he's been told to say it, or is it really in there? Does he really understand what he's talking about?
During First World War, Second World, and the Borneo confrontation, many Gurkhas won many medals, war medals. And now, a little suspect whether the new Gurkhas are that brave or not, but they were sent to Afghanistan and they shown their bravery. They won also highest medal as well. That has been proven.
The journey to becoming a Gurkha soldier is becoming increasingly difficult. The British Army, which traditionally recruits Gurkhas, is reducing its intake, and the selection process is becoming even more rigorous.
Comparatively, during our time, that was much easier. But nowadays, the days are getting more harder and harder because the competition is very, very high. So nowadays, the potential recruits takes training for many months.
The operational bit of being a Gurkha soldier or any British soldier was, Hong Kong days, was the looking after the border between China and Hong Kong. Right. And that was then. Nowadays, with time, we are into a very modern battlefield.
You got tourists.
Yeah, and there's so many complicated things about it now. So you got to be more clever now. And when you ask questions to these soldiers, you got to ensure that they have these qualities with them now, so that they can be employed in a very, very modern battlefield nowadays.
Although being a Gurkha soldier is a dream for many young men across Nepal, not everyone can make it a reality.
If they were not selected in the British Army recruit selection pass, they should continue the education.
There's also still some opportunities.
Yes.
Even though some of the young men we've met haven't yet become Gurkha soldiers, beyond their determination, they possess the bravery and compassion which are the hallmarks of Gurkha soldiers in full measure.
Most important things in my life is my dad and mom and my family. I love my family so much. I have a fear of losing my family. I don't want to lose my family because I love my family. And even if I be in the middle of war and I'll be trying to save myself and my friends and have a victory over the war and get a success and make the nation's pride.
In Nepal, there are thousands of mountain peaks, some standing tall, majestic and graceful. Among these, Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, stands as the ultimate dream for climbers. Only very few possess the strength and determination to reach its summit. Just as Mount Everest symbolizes challenge and aspiration for mountaineers, the dream of becoming a Gurkha soldier represents the pinnacle of achievement for many young Nepalese men. They are embarking on a journey towards the mountain peak of their dreams, driven by honor, the pursuit of a better life, and love for and dedication to their families.